it is, we don't have any storage capacity any longer with it. That's why we have to, we should have upgraded that several years ago. So when looking at doing the QuickBase and upgrading it and incorporating the QuickBooks into it, it only made sense that you pay for one thing and do it all.
How much do you pay for Gate Century now?
So that's how, I mean.
What did you say? Something about Gate Century?
How much a month? How much per month do we pay for Gate Century now?
I think it's 7.
It's over 2,000 a quarter. It's like
Yeah,
$2,100 a quarter.
21.
I don't know. This young lady has something to say.
But
no, she says no.
no. My main concern is if we don't do this now, and we lower the amount of users, that's, you know, and then what is this going to cost us to upgrade again? Then we're going to end up having to upgrade again, and is that going to be all new cost? In addition to what we're going to pay for this one time.
Right, but I'm pretty sure that I heard Arlene say that like 97% are satisfied with the program now, but would be more satisfied if it was easily or streamlined, correct? Okay, so if 97% are okay with it the way that it is right now, I don't understand why it's an urgency, why we can't take a little bit of time if it's working okay, and they're doing okay with it. Why can't we take a little bit of time and just expand our options and see what is available?
Because they're trying to upgrade their bookkeeping program. In order to upgrade the bookkeeping program, we have to upgrade this program, is the way I understand it.
Because we're going to go to a cloud base. Right. So in order to go to a cloud base, you have to upgrade the whole entire system. We have no choice but to go to a cloud base. What we have now is probably 20 years old at this point in time, technology-wise. And the program that they're running now for QuickBooks is not for the capacity that they're running under. The capacity that they have right now for QuickBooks is what you call a mom and pop shop. That's what they're doing. We're having trouble backing it up. We're having trouble when the CPA is in there, no one can be in there. So that means they're losing 1 or 2 days of work when the CPA is in there doing stuff. Then when the CPA gets out of there, things happen. So when Vivian goes back in, she can't get in there. They have to call the computer person. He has to go back in there. So sometimes at some points, and correct me if I'm wrong, Eileen, but it's been 4 days sometimes before they could get back in the program. It depends, 3 to 4 days. And numerous frustration. Then everybody is behind on their work. My thing is, if this is going to make 100% better, easier, and everyone can be in there at the same time doing different things, then that's what a program is for. Because if I'm in the program, every one of us should be in different parts of the program if you want to be doing whatever you want to do. But the current program, the way it is right now, you cannot do that at all. This is what they're faced with right now is total frustration every day. And I hear about it, I see it, I understand what they're talking about, and I wouldn't want it. So the first thing that, when we sat down and all spoke about this, was the QuickBooks and the QuickBase, and have them all go into the cloud. And that's the way everybody is going, is cloud-based. So, you need to fill out one of these.
When I asked about is QuickBase different than QuickBooks, that's a yes. But you need both of them? The one complements the other, or is part of the working system of the QuickBooks? It helps it work?
Clarification. Okay, so QuickBooks and QuickBase are two different programs. Okay, QuickBooks is basically our accounting software where all of the HOA fees get entered, anything money, if you will. QuickBooks is what pretty much the bookkeeper uses, sends out statements, violations, fines, things like that. QuickBase is where we have all the resident information, name, address, phone number, email, where somebody gets a barcode, where that information is entered. If somebody does an ACC application, where that information, and then also we generate through that, if somebody gets a violation, where the ABRC violations go, the agenda, and also the letters that go out to people if they have an appeal, and then initially the fine letters. So they do operate separately. Okay, but what it is we want to move to QuickBooks Online. We're right now on desktop. We want to move to QuickBooks Online because that's a cloud-based program. If we get that, then QuickBase and QuickBooks, through the pipeline, will be able to communicate. So for example, say somebody has a violation, it doesn't get taken care of, and it goes to fine. Then what we can do in the QuickBase system, just click on Send to Fine, and it will generate an invoice in QuickBooks. So this way, somebody doesn't have to go and probably Vivian go in and actually type in invoice, fine, etc.
So it's not going to take over for QuickBooks. Will we still need to get an upgraded QuickBooks at a different time?
We will, yes, QuickBooks Online. If we have QuickBooks Online, and then we get the upgrades to QuickBase, then they'll be able to talk to each other.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Now I understand.
Okay.
I thought they
It's
totally
a lot
different.
of information, it is.
All right, I make a motion that we go forward and approve the renewal of the upgrade of QuickBase software for $21,900. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Richard is an aye. All opposed? Catherine is opposed. Okay. Okay, the last thing on the agenda is the excavation of the retention ponds in Brookridge. There's 3 retention ponds that need excavating. To move, the recommendation is to move forward and approve the quote from Cornerstone Solutions Group. And 3 bids were not obtained for this, since Cornerstone Solutions is the only contractor that performs this work. Local here. So I make a motion to go forward and approve the quote from Cornerstone Land Services for $30,000.
You guys, first, before you do that, since you cannot secure the 3 bids and our purchasing requires 3 bids, is you have to take a vote to do the waive of the 3 bids. You have to do a motion, a second, and vote to waive the 3 bids. Then you can go back to do your motion as far as accepting that bid.
So I make a motion to waive the 3 bids for
The 3 bids for the excavation
for the 3 bids for the excavation.
of the retention pond.
Did you hear that? Okay. Do I have? Hold, Richard, hold on. We have to make a motion to waive. So hold on, okay? All right. So I make a motion to waive the not being able to obtain the 3 bids. That Cornerstone Solution is the only local contractor that can perform this work. Do I have a second?
What's the final price?
You can't yell out from the end.
Hold. Do I have a discussion?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I have a question. I think this goes to Vince, because I'm pretty sure that you've worked with these people. Okay, so as far as you know, they are the only people in this area that do this,
Catherine.
and they've been in here before?
No.
No. Okay. So who did it before this?
Nobody.
Oh.
It hasn't been done it hasn't been done. Get it?
All in favor? Aye. Richard, this was a vote just to waive. Okay, yes. Richard, yes. Okay. So moving forward,
Fuck tomorrow.
Cornerstone gave us a quote, land services, for $30,720. It is to excavate 3 retention ponds. And Vince, can you explain which ponds that they're gonna excavate?
Okay, the first pond, I think, was for less than $6,000, is the office pond that's sits up by the front gate. The pond is in terrible shape. It's got probably at least five feet of silt in it, and it's so hard to mow and keep clean that it needs to be dredged out and recontoured so we can go in there and mow. The other 2 ponds are the ones we just spent money on for pumps and electrical work. Okay, just so everybody's clear that the BCPO was responsible for upkeep of these ponds. We mow them, we upkeep it. Even though they're on golf course property, it's our responsibility to maintain them. And they have to be maintained to a certain level to where if the ponds are holding water for a long length of time, what happens? You introduce more wildlife, you introduce more insects, mosquitoes, you name it, everything thrives on the water. And when it's sitting there and it's not being moved, it's just a breeding ground for everything. The ones off of number 12, they hold water, especially the one that's closest to the street. It's got about probably 5 to 6 feet of silt in it, and it hasn't been dredged out for years. So, and plus it's not just that, it's also the contouring of the pond itself. When you're going in there to mow, and you have water in the pond, what do you think is on your mind when you're on a mower? All right, so when they're too steep on an angle, I've already got one stuck in Sumter, and that was a little bit wet. But imagine going in there when it's 4 or 5 feet of water. Now I just lost a $50,000 machine. All right, so the ponds themselves, I mean, this is just 3 of them. There's 30 of them around the park that need work. Okay, and with these 2 ponds, that's actually all 3 of them, they're all going to be recontoured and resodded and dug out and put new bases down at the bottom so the water can't drain over time. These ponds, it takes forever, especially on number 12 on Schubert, that it just takes forever for 3-4 weeks sometimes for them to actually empty. And the one pond on number 12 never empties at all, it never dries up. So that's why we need to get it all worked out. I'm trying to, the residents that live in that area, I mean, I can assume that, you know, you go outside at night and you're getting eaten by mosquitoes. That's one of the reasons why we got this big pond here. It's full of water. It's just a breeding ground for everything. So it's just.
So can I ask him, okay, so it says on here that the cost of these people does not include the removal of any of the materials that they may have to dredge up or do whatever. Who's going to be taking care of that material?
They'll be removing the material in their trucks and bringing it to Midmore and or 7 Acres.
Oh, because it says here that they're not going to do that.
They'll be removing that. They're not trucking it off prof site.
Okay.
So everything's going to be living on site. So if you're going to all the silt and all the dirt that they take out of, we're going to go by Midmore so that we can use that dirt.
Okay.
And everything else can go up to 7 Acres and spread out.
Okay, and who is good, it says that, whoever's doing this, that's what I'd like to know. Who's gonna be the one that's calling or checking or working with the people that are making sure that the lines aren't gonna get broken that are underground? Because they're talking about private utility lines, irrigation and other underground. And I know that we just did some upgrades or have paid for them. So, is that going to be you that works with?
Right, yes, I'll be working with them closely on everything.
Okay. Yep, that was it.
And when was the last time, do
I
you have any idea?
couldn't even tell you. Not since I've been here.
My concern is we put the new pumps in, and
I'm worried about somebody getting hurt when they're mowing. That's my main concern.
right.
Okay, and some areas on some of these ponds, like you almost got a cliff. You come over here and you come up to the mower, and below it, before you know it, there's nothing below you. Okay, and it's just a sheer drop off, 4 or 5 feet. All right, so this is just the tip of the iceberg of some of these ponds that we need to take care of. All right, so I picked these two because these are two that hold the most water and they need the most work. Okay, so that's why, I mean, it could be an exorbitant amount of money, but I just want to, get these 3 done before summer. So next year we can go ahead and put this on a type of a plan to get these into a budget item and get these worked out, because there is something in reserve for retention ponds, I'm sure.
Okay, and I do know exactly what Vince is talking about because I've been to a couple of these ponds myself. And one thing you cannot, there's no way that their mowers can get in there because of the slopes, and I know the one way up on Rialto too, because I was out there and the people called. And what you see is debris.
Like physically on number 12, on the pond that's right in front of the tee box.
Yeah.
Okay? We have to weed whack that entire wall. I can't even get a mower in it because it's so deep that it just slides right down. So it's this way when we come and redo that pond, the wall is going to come down a nice gradual slope. I won't lose that much water or take up too much space for the water. It is more gradual slope, so it'll be easier to mow and easier to maintain.
I know because the ponds are, some of them haven't been done in years and years and years, and a few that I've seen, all kinds of garbage, and right away people said, well, wait a minute, it belongs to the golf course. No, they don't. They belong to us, the BCPO, where we are in charge of maintaining, and unfortunately over the years they haven't been taken care of for whatever reason, why. But now it has to be done, and I know Vince has started with these other 3, which are probably 3 of the worst, but there's others out there that are very bad, and in time we're gonna see more and more of this come in because bugs, mosquitoes, especially for homes that are right there, and right in, like your house is here, and here's the pond. I mean, I get calls, a few of them, a couple of months ago, and Vince had already started taking care of some of these issues. But you only could do so many at one time. because it takes time and it takes money. But bottom line is they have to be done, you cannot let it go, because we got a mess now. Vince, you do a good job in what you do. You do a very good job.
And how many ponds are there altogether?
There's
There are 30 ponds
well,
in
let's
the...
see. 1, 2, 3,
If they were, it was
5,
Flintstone time.
6,
What I'm,
7, 8, 9.
what I'm
In excess
concerned
of
about.
20, in excess of 25 to 30 ponds within the facility of Brookridge. Not just, that's the golf course.
And that's all ours.
That's all of ours too.
So this says on here that they're gonna utilize our pump in order to be able to drain these,
I gotta utilize my pumping system to drain the water.
okay, is this the new pumps that we just put in, or are we?
No, I got my 4-inch and 2-inch pump, that's,
Yahoo, okay.
I'm not using those pumps to
Yeah,
drain
No,
the pipe.
I'm just asking.
Right.
I've already got auxiliary pumps now, they're gas driven.
And the other thing that I'm concerned about too is if we already know they're holding water. I've been by here several times, and especially after a storm, that we don't know what kind of storms we're gonna have this year. And how much more water can they take?
Is this a part of, or was it a part of regular maintenance for the park at some point? I mean, do we, oh, we don't know, okay, just checking.
No, honestly, we don't know.
Well, I
Real
definitely,
quick, Billy used to be here 15, 20 years ago, used to clean the ponds. We know that?
What happened?
Billy cleaned them,
I know, but they haven't been clean in years.
because he got too much of one guy to do.
Well, we need to get them professionally clean. We have, you know, storms coming up. They need to be, I wouldn't want to be over there with mosquitoes the size of dinosaurs. Right.
the other thing is, putting our maintenance staff in jeopardy, whether it be snakes or alligators or whatever's living in there, you know, slimy things.
Yeah.
You know, while they're trying to mow, I just, I agree.
Oh. Okay. Thank you, Leah.
I filled that paper.
Mary Story, Unit 6. Debbie, can you guys please check, because you're talking about reserve money for this? I just looked at the reserve components, and I do not see anything in reserve components about retention ponds. So we're gonna have to be cautious where we take that money from, please. And in looking at this proposal, it says the client will make an initial payment of 000 30 days prior to the starting. How are we actually funding this? Are we not giving them anything down? Are we lump summing it at the end? Are we giving them 1/3, 1/3? Does anybody know how we're paying this bill?
Well,
What?
I think we can work out the terms and let you guys know at the next meeting.
Okay,
I think we can work out the terms at the next meeting, but I kind of need to get this approved tonight, so, but as far as the terms go, there's really nothing, just like with the asphalt or the paving, we didn't put anything down for paving. Okay, so.
okay, that's what I'm asking.
So there's really, there's nothing really they're giving us, with anything large amounts like 10, we have to hold 10% at the end, okay, for we have 30 days, right?
Right.
So
Right.
for 30,000, for, you know, we'll be holding 3,000 at the end, okay? I believe their terms are in the proposal. If
No.
not, then I'll have to get the terms from Cornerstone. and
Right, there's
let you
nothing
know.
in here. It says the prepayments, and there's really no terms in here that says whether you're doing a third, you're giving them a half beforehand or whatever. That's all I'm questioning, is how do we plan on paying them? Because there's nothing in this And who is gonna do the work once they dump everything up at 7 acres and that? Who's gonna rake all this stuff, dirt down?
I'll be leveling out with our tractor or
Okay.
you know, I'll be either that, or if that's not gonna work, then I'll rent a skidder.
Okay. So I just asked if you checked that whether or not legally it can come out of reserves, and if you can give us a pay breakdown of how we're gonna pay them next meeting, Vince, that would be great. Thank you.
All right, everyone ready to, okay. Richard, do you have anything?
You made a motion, or you didn't second?
Understood, so, you guys go ahead.
Okay. Well, do I have a second for this? Second, Catherine?
Second.
Okay. We had our discussion. All in favor of going forward and approving the quote for Cornerstone Land Services for $30,720? Aye.
Yes.
Richard said yes. It's unanimous. We have, we're going to open up the floor for member comments. Richard, we're opening up the floor for member comments. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
The treasurer's report for April is online. I sat in on the beautification committee meeting, and they are desperately needing some volunteers for the summer. Especially somebody that's got a pickup truck, they've got a trailer and a tank to put water in that would tremendously help them water their plants. Otherwise, they're taking around gallons of water in their own cars, 6 gallons at a time to water. So if anybody's got a truck that would like to help them, they would greatly appreciate it.
Robert, you have some? You can say, or you can ask all three?
And then Lucy, I see you.
Robin Napier, Unit 3. My first question was, have we ever thought about using this place as an evacuation for when we have storms? Why? Why can't we use it?
It's not built for it.
It's not built?
It's not cinder block.
Oh, it's not cinder block.
No.
Oh. Okay, well, I don't know, I would think this would be
Right,
standard
we
of
have-
what our buildings.
Right, we have the schools right outside that are designated and approved by the state for evacuations.
Okay.
And if we do have to evacuate in here, and you can't get there, they will gladly come and get you, including your animals.
Okay. All right, the next one was, for the past couple of months I've been up here, I've asked the same question, and I'm about to ask it for a third time, and I noticed that Vince is no longer in the room. But anyways, do we have anybody here, and this will be the third time I've asked, that has a contract with our community?
That has been asked and answered, and it will no longer be answered. It was asked and answered 3 times.
Okay, and the reason I'm asking it the third time is because I keep getting told that there is somebody who has a contract, and the last time I asked you that, Debbie, you said Pizzo does not have one. I didn't bring his name up, I just said, does anybody?
No.
And at the last meeting on the video, you said Pizzo does not have one.
That's right.
Okay,
So it's
so
been asked and
obviously,
answered.
that's the question that's not being answered.
Okay, well, it is. It has. And your
But
last
not
one?
this time.
I've
but
already
not
asked
this
and
time.
answered. It's no longer
Okay.
asked and answered.
All right.
And the last one you have?
What's the
Gated community.
gated community? Every time I go out the gate, the gate on the, going outside. We had a vote, I think it was like 2 months ago or a month ago, that we would have the gates down and people would come in and out. And I don't know, past couple months it hasn't been down. It's been up. And I've also noticed that when it's like bingo time or the shows, that they just leave the gates up. I thought this was a gated community, which doesn't mean that we can pick and choose. If so, then maybe we need to rethink that it's not a gated community. My thoughts.
Okay, thank you. Tracy left, and she was actually going to tell you all this update for the developer outside. So I have it, so I'm just going to read what she had sent me. Correspondence from developer. The demo crews are offloading equipment today for the demo of the old ALF facility. That building should be down within the next week, with site construction following shortly after. That's the update that, and for all that don't know, the ALF is that assisted facility that's way in the back. And it's that one back there with the white fencing around it that is coming down. And I believe once they probably start taking that down, it will go very quickly after that. Lucy?
Hi, Lucille DeGuire, Unit 4. Sorry I jumped the gun, I forgot it was not a town hall. I want to get back to the fact that you're getting the surveillance cameras updated at the compound, the RV compound. I do know also, and that's why I want to know if there was any thought about it, seeing that you're getting that done. We have signs up for the different gates we have, saying there's a surveillance thing going on, but we don't have cameras. Is that something that's being forgotten about, or is that something you're going to be doing soon?
No, it would be hard to put them up there because of the length of the internet that would have to travel with looking in we would have to put wireless Wi-Fi's from what I understand. The problem is that it can only see a certain distance. So, and it has to be you can't have houses in the way of it. To be able to see like a line, and that is one of the big problems that we have had moving forward, was to find something that could accommodate it. One thing that we thought about was game cameras. We have game cameras at the compound. One of the things about that is that you constantly have to take them and recharge them, that kind of thing. They do work, but we are looking for a more permanent solution. And it is the distance going back and forth is the hindrance.
Okay, I just wanted to know because I had asked why they put the signs up, and yet...
We put the signs up just like people put signs up saying that they have a security system and they don't. It's just to say, yes, thank you, yes. And
a deterrence, yeah.
Yes. We thought it was better than nothing, right.
Okay.
And if it would keep one person out, it kept one person out. It made somebody think twice.
Okay, I just wondered because it was like a forgotten thought. Nobody was talking about it.
No, we have talked many times with the computer people, and they have explained it's the distance.
Okay, because I do know they had a battery, or no, solar powered one up in the tree.
Right.
And that disappeared.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
All
I
right.
just wanted clarification.
Thanks, Lucy.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Paul, haven't heard from you in a while.
I got a few things.
Yes.
Not replying. Paul Harrison, Unit 4. Understanding you spent $21,000 tonight, and from what I hear and understand, we're still going to be having gates entry past August. I thought the whole objective back last year was to get rid of gates entry because we have a 5% automatic renewal clause in there.
Right, and it was, but then we found out with the gate, and I think Arlene, you could chime in on this if you want to. The other situation with the gate was we then found out that none of the barcodes had been put in. And I want to say, Arlene, am I correct? Around 10,000? 10,000 barcodes. But when you think about it, it's just not putting in the barcode number, okay? You have to go from, you have to register the person on one page, okay? So this is a computer. So one page is the registration of the person, name, address, car registration, license plate number, personal information. Then you have to go to the barcode side and put in the barcode information. That was for 10,000. Individual, one person has to sit and put it all in. So that took, how many months, Arlene?
They're still not done.
It took a long time to get it there. Now, they have found out that some people going through the gate, the barcode isn't working. So now they're having to get new barcodes for those people and put all that information in. So it has been a mess, I think is a nice way to put it. We are finally at the end of that mess, but now we're finding some other problems out. So one day you can go through and it works, it lifts up, you come back in, and on the other side it's not reading the barcode. So they're having to then write those people's names down and go back in the system.
So we're stuck with gates.
We're stuck, right, until we can get all of this figured out. And there is some problems that they're having. They don't know if it's the barcode that they've put in, if it's just not reading it, that beam is not reading it. We've also had them where they would pull up, it would not lift up, they would pull back and pull forward and it would lift up. So there's something definitely with the barcode on particular people. But remember, we have like 1 million people that come through the gate. So they are working on it, and he has been really diligently working on it. We are now to the end. And of course, when you come to the end of putting everything in there and you go live with it, per se, which is what they've done, now you find out all the little things that need to be worked out.
So we're stuck. So we got another 5% increase in August.
I'm hoping that we may be able to get out of that, but I don't know. But I can tell you, we're not happy about it. We wanted to be done with it.
Yeah.
We really did. But that is what's happened. It is just the amount of work that had went in it. And it was one person who was doing this every day. And that's their whole thing. And then we have people, remember, selling their vehicles, coming in trying to get new barcodes, people moving in here trying to get new barcodes. And so they're stacking up while they're working on the rest. It's yeah. Mm-hmm. It is very frustrating. Mm-hmm. Vince, thank you, Paul. And I'm glad to see you're better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few things. As well as you know, that we had new fans and new lights and new chandeliers in the clubhouse. I think they all look great. You won't have to see any more dead light bulbs in the ceiling anymore. That's a great plus. Plus, it looks really nice, and the wiring went well. As you can tell, there's not a lot of feedback going on. Everything nice and crystal clear coming out of the speakers. It helps when you got better grounds and things of that nature. We will be installing 4 new fans at the pool and the pavilion next week. I ordered them this morning. And the shuffleboard area will be getting brand new scoreboards. Those will be here next week also. I think the major issue that I have today is, and I think everybody out there that waves and tells us, you know, we're doing a great job, but it's the ones that are swearing at us, going through cones, going through barriers, because they're so impatient that they can't wait a few minutes. Personally, I was almost hit twice yesterday. And one guy, you know, I have Country Club blocked off, and they decided to come through, and the one side is blocked off for a reason, because I was trying to avoid head-on collisions on coming from the boulevard and turning left. So I blocked it off to make them go towards Del Rio, and he just kept on coming, and he wouldn't stop. So I had to move my truck. So, but personally, I got to get out of the car, and then he's creeping up on me. And, you know, I made him turn around. He didn't like it, but oh well. So tomorrow's adventure for the people in here that can't, will be able to notice the southbound lanes will be completely cut off. You will not be able to travel south on the boulevard at all. Okay. You'll detour up through Weatherford, down to Hampton, over to the clubhouse, and on your way. Okay? They'll finish the paving tomorrow. So if you're north of Weatherford and north of Midmore, it's best that you detour through Weatherford and come on down, because you will not be able to come by. Okay? That's protecting my workers. It's also protecting the main gate, because you know, way too many people in here speeding. Okay, I listened firsthand. I know this has been a really touchy subject, but speeding when there's, you know, single lane and knocking over cones for no reason, not paying attention, and just total disregard for anybody's safety out there. That's my biggest thing tonight. It's just disappointing. That's all. I mean, we're trying our best to make sure that we don't have any accidents and everybody's happy with what's going on. And we're trying, this has probably been the biggest project that I've had since I've been working for BCBO. And it's been one of the most stressful ones there is. And it's just, I just want to say thank you for everybody, whoever's out there, and making sure that we are safe. But the ones that aren't, you know, I can't say much. So, thanks a lot. That's enough.
Can I just say, I want to make sure that Linda gets credit for these lights and fans, because Vince is right, they look so much better than those horrifying things that were in before.
And by the way, Linda saved us a bunch of money.
Yes.
On the Lowe's thing, that was even better. So, yeah, so that was a good idea.
And
in his crew.
exactly. If it wasn't for them yesterday, that lady coming down Brookridge Boulevard would have taken out the back of my golf cart. We just sat there and chuckled a little bit, and I said, well, I'm just going to go this way really quick. But she almost took you guys out at the same time, and she was not very nice about it. So what they've had to deal with, I've only dealt with it twice, and that was more than enough for me. So kudos to them guys.
All kinds of weather.
Yes.
Yep. Correct.
Right. Anybody else?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Rich.
Richard said good job to Vince.
Vince did a good job. I want to back up on him real quick. Rich Stratton, Unit 3. So simple. Unit 3, Unit 3 for next time. Vince did the job, and these people, and I love to say with a chest camera, they take a picture, they don't stop for a stop sign. Somebody's going to get hurt, period. And who's going to be the one to get hurt? Whose family?
Not there.
Of course not, because they're in the car. I was trying to put together a thought, and I want to run it by the board real quick for the future. We have not anything finished on speeding and stop signs. Nothing 40 years. Nothing. Am I right? Shake the head, yes. Nothing has been done. We talked about it, talked about it, talked about it. Something's got to be done. So this is my plan. I'd like to see if we talk to somebody about this, and the group would be called Stop Signs a Go-Go. Stop Signs a Go-Go. We require a few people like veterans, I'll use the word veterans, to come out and with a camera on their chest, when people go through a stop sign, they get it right there, beep, they're done. We find these people. So if we do enough fines in 2 months, Brookridge will start to come around. The world will turn. They're going to say, well, I've been fined 5 times already. And I would say, raise the fines. Don't pay these people who's going to do the camera work. Give them a commission. Don't pay them money from the ward. Give them money off the fine. So simple. We have to stop the speeders. Forget them. It's the stop signs. I can give you 10 golfers in 10 minutes to go through the stop sign. Should I stop them? And say they violated the stop sign? Or should we change all the signs and say yield? A lot easier, right? Or should they sign like they have in town, it says whoa. You go through a stop sign, you don't do it around 50, but you do it in Brookridge. So simple, am I right? You go through stop signs?
There's a lot of people that go through stop signs, that speed, that I live on the boulevard, and I can tell you, Duke's a hazard over
But
there.
I just want to start somehow to get it, some type, grab it, and get it taken care of a little bit. Start with stoppers. Just a thought.
I appreciate that. Maybe would you consider being on traffic safety?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. They don't do nothing.
Oh, no, that's not right.
They're
No,
still
they do.
speeding. They're still speeding. The stop sign up what they put in, people go right through it.
Okay, so can I respond to traffic safety? I've been at 3 meetings now, well, actually I was deathly sick for one, but I've been there, and the signs that they're putting up, they've changed all the evacuation signs, they've replaced some of the signs to make sure that people that have some form of disability are safe. They put up signs so that if there's a curve that nobody can see around it, it's got this great big sign up there now that lets people know not to do that. They've tried putting stop signs in. They're still working on all of those things, but they work diligently, and now they're out trying to fix the other signs that Brookridge community will tell Brookridge community what activities are going on, and they'll look better than the ratty ones that are falling apart. So they are doing tons of things behind the scenes that you just don't see right off the bat. But they are working diligently at the stop signs, and they're talking about Sheriff's Department coming in and writing their own tickets and being able to do that.
On private roads?
Yeah, correct. The only way that you can do that is if they're hired in to do that. So that's something that's being looked at.
We paid $90.
And I can just tell you, I've been to their meetings also. They work very hard. They're working now on going to meet with the county for doing an evacuation gate, seeing what that's all going to entail. So they're working very, very hard. And, you know, just like every other committee,
on the
that works
30th,
very
they go
hard.
to that county meeting
Right.
in order to be able to take
Because
it back.
remember, we cannot exist without you, the volunteers, who are the residents who care about your community. And that's the most important thing, so.
And they're equally as frustrated with the speeding
Yes.
and the non-stopping at the stop signs as you are, let me
Right.
tell you.
Is there anything else?
Uh-oh.
Okay, not done yet. Slow. I'll make it very simple. Are we having any Memorial Day function in this clubhouse?
You'll have to talk with Memorial Day, with,
I asked the patrolman today, she has nothing.
nothing has been presented to us. You'll need to, talk with, the new person who took over for Gil and Dick.
We talked to him. He doesn't know what's going on.
Well, I'm not in charge of his committee. We're not in charge of his committee.
It's not a committee, it's just a group.
Right, a group, but we're not in charge of the group.
And all we do is take care of the library with information for veterans.
Right, but we're not in charge of that group. They are. They always have been.
So we have no idea what they're doing here.
They haven't presented anything to us at all, called us regarding a Memorial Day function or anything like
He
that.
come to the men's club and ask us for help.
I guess the best thing then to do is to call them up.
Call who up?
Either Rich or, either Gil or Dick. Okay, if he's not doing it anymore.
Greg, right?
Greg, the new one.
Greg.
Right.
Greg is in charge of the, I thought Hoffman. Hoffman said he's in charge of the group.
Greg.
Fred?
Fred?
Oh, that's right.
Fred.
Fred.
Fred Hoffman.
Yeah, right.
Okay. It's Fred.
But we don't know anything, Rich, right now. We haven't heard anything.
So the men's club is supplying the donuts for the morning. So I'm gonna tell the men's club we don't know nothing, so Fred save the money.
I don't know what to tell you.
Why don't you take it over?
Yes, sir.
Who?
You know, like I clarification on Mr. LeBrecq on Unit 2, on the stop sign, it's right at the gates when you go out. The gate is up, do you have to stop?
Yes, it's a legal stop sign.
Yes. I almost got run in the back a couple of times.
It's a legal stop sign. Yes.
Who's responsible for the car behind you?
They are.
They are.
Just like if you were hit out on 50 and you were at that red light.
No, this is private road.
No, everybody is responsible for their vehicle, their golf cart, and everything else. Is there anything else? All right, I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 9:22 p.m. Wow.